Today we're going to take a closer look at the Scarlet Runner Bean, and I will be sharing some of my thoughts and experiences growing this plant. I mentioned this plant briefly in my last video. We'll be right back. In 2024, I planted my first ever Scarlet Runner Bean plant, and I was surprised at how many pollinators it attracted. I will be planting it again for 2025. Scarlet Runner Beans are propagated by seed. It takes 4 to 7 days at 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit for propagation, according to one source. Another source says 4 to 16 days in soil 60 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So take your pick. Just figure on 60 to 85 degree temperatures for 1 to 2 weeks. You should plant your seeds 4 to 8 inches apart, according to one source, and 1 inch deep. And another one says to plant them 12 to 18 inches apart. I would say I planted mine 4 to 6 inches apart. In this photo, you can see just how large the seeds are. Scarlet Runner Beans like a sunny spot in the garden with fertile, well-draining soil. The plants can be grown directly from seed or transplants. It's advisable to sow seeds directly into the ground, though, when the danger of frost is past. The plant is hardy in zones 7 to 11. I live in zone 6A in northwest Ohio, therefore Scarlet Runner Beans are an annual for me. I grow most of my annual plants in raised beds in tubs, and they do just fine. Because the Scarlet Runner Bean lives up to its name and loves to climb, you will need to provide a supporting trellis. The plant can reach a height of 6 to 15 feet and has a spread of 3 to 5 feet. I grew mine in a 42-inch raised bed and added a 5-foot trellis. The plant reached the top of the 5-foot trellis and spiraled upwards approximately another 2 feet. Regarding its growth behavior, it remained relatively contained within my raised bed, but did attempt to extend over the edges by approximately a foot or two. Slugs and rabbits might nibble on your young plants. Mexican beetles, Japanese beetles, aphids, and leafhoppers can sometimes be a problem. Powdery mildew, which forms a dusty layer on leaves, can usually be avoided if you don't overcrowd the plants to allow for good air circulation. Generally speaking, the same insects and diseases that afflict beans grown in the vegetable garden can affect this plant. This includes viral disease and bacterial blight and anthracnose. Scarlet Runner Bean makes a beautiful vertical accent when grown on a trellis or teepee. It can be a feature of the vegetable garden or included in a mixed annual border. I've read that many people grow this plant for its flowers rather than just for the beans. Due to the fact Scarlet Runner Bean flowers do not self-pollinate, pollinator-attracting plants are excellent companion plants if you plan to harvest the seed pods. Because I grow mostly native plants and my Scarlet Runner Bean plant was located next to my mini messick garden, I didn't need to place pollinator-attracting plants close to this bean plant. Annual salvia is an easy-to-grow, long-flowering addition to any garden, where it adds bright colors and great form habits. It attracts pollinators such as bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. I have several pollinator-attracting salvias in my garden. With the exception of 2 or 3 plants, most of my salvias and sages are perennials. Zinnias come in many colors and sizes. They attract pollinators including butterflies, moths, bees, and syrphid flies, while adding appeal to any garden in need of a splash of color. Black-eyed Susan bears large yellow flowers with dark centers in mid to late summer. It grows 2 to 3 feet tall and attracts pollinators. The yellow flowers provide a nice contrast to the Scarlet Runner blooms. Marigolds are utilized more as a repellent to ward off bad bugs. The repellent trait is why marigolds are so popular as companion plants in vegetable gardens. Marigolds were the only plant I added to my raised bed containing the Scarlet Runner Bean. Marigolds appeared to do their job, as I don't recall seeing any bad bugs on my bean plant. Nasturtiums are hardy in zones 9 to 11, therefore it's an annual for me. Nasturtium is a dual-purpose companion plant in vegetable gardens where it attracts pollinating insects and keeps pests away. Some resources state nasturtiums self-seed and are considered invasive in warmer climates, so be sure to check for this in your area. Sweet alyssum. To me, sweet alyssum is an iffy companion plant as recommended by some sources. This plant both attracts bees but also attracts large numbers of leaf beetles, a medium number of lygus bugs, and smaller numbers of leafhoppers, aphids, and froghoppers. I grew some sweet alyssum in a plant tower placed about 12 feet away from my Scarlet Runner Bean. I did notice some bees along with a few other insects on the alyssum, but no aphids. Consider planting the Scarlet Runner Bean in your garden and see what pollinators you attract. Thanks for watching. See you the next time. Bye.